A flight attendant slaps a billionaire, and 2 minutes later, an unexpected twist reveals a story of vengeance and redemption. If you want to know how this story ends, stay until the end. James Cooper, a billionaire and tech mogul, boards his private jet in New York. James is a well-known public figure, a self-made entrepreneur who has overcome countless obstacles to reach the top. However, his success and fortune have earned him a fame tainted with arrogance. He's a man so used to having everything his way that he rarely hears a no. The flight is operated by a luxury crew, including Sarah, a flight attendant with a personal story as deep as it is complex. Sarah is professional, but when she meets James, she feels that this man represents something more in her life. A reminder of the years she struggled to rise in a system that seemed designed for her failure. The flight takes off, and soon after the passengers settle, James begins giving orders with a tone bordering on disdain. Sarah, maintaining her composure, follows his instructions, even though he seems to enjoy making increasingly demanding requests. Finally, when James makes a cruel and dismissive comment towards Sarah, she loses her composure and, in an impulsive act, slaps him. The other crew members and the rest of the passengers fall silent, while a look of absolute surprise spreads across James' face. 2 minutes later, the silence is broken when James, instead of reacting with anger, smiles with an unsettling calm and returns to his seat without saying a word. Sarah feels confused, expecting retaliation, but something about James' smile makes her suspect there's more to his reaction than she can understand. Upon landing, Sarah heads towards her boss, bracing herself to face the consequences of her actions. However, what happens in the following days shocks her. She receives an invitation to meet privately with James Cooper at his headquarters. Intrigued and nervous, Sarah accepts the meeting, convinced her career is over. But when she arrives, she encounters a man very different from the arrogant passenger on the plane. James tells her that he had been watching her during the flight, reminded of someone from his past who inspired him to become who he is. He confesses that years ago, he was someone who worked hard to escape poverty and discrimination, but in his success, he lost sight of that connection with humility and empathy. He admits that when Sarah slapped him, it forced him to reflect deeply. Chapter 4. An Unexpected Deal. James makes a proposal to Sarah. He wants her to work directly with him on a project he plans to launch, a project aimed at providing free technological education to underserved communities. Sarah is stunned. Is this a test, or is he manipulating me? As they open up to each other and share stories of their respective paths to success, they launch an initiative that empowers hundreds of young people who, like them, are fighting against an unequal system. The connection they form grows deep and respectful, and together, they develop an unexpected friendship. As the initiative grows, James realizes that the moment when Sarah slapped him was a wake-up call from the superficial and selfish life he had fallen into. He thanks her for giving him that slap. It was more than just a reaction. It was an intervention that shook him to his core. Sarah, on her part, learns the power of second chances, not just for herself, but for those who truly seek redemption. Years later, Sarah is one of the lead executives of the organization, and James, now a much humbler and more empathetic leader, gives an inspiring speech recounting how an impulsive gesture changed his life. The audience listens in awe as he describes the moment on the plane as the turning point that made him rediscover his humanity and the value of empathy.